well, my Michel. Michel, ma belle, sont les mots qui vont très bien ensemble, très bien ensemble.
So good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's for something completely different.
On to work. How are you, first of all?
I'm very good, very good. Bit tired,
Yeah.
but you know, late night last night after the big win, and a couple of hours sleep, and back to it.
Yeah, a couple hours sleep. We're definitely on a couple hours sleep ourselves. I know. We finished like at 5 in the morning,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
You get paid well though.
Well, you know, we do what we can.
We do what we do.
We do what we do.
That's boxing.
Yeah, exactly. There's no late night partying like some people believe.
No.
Like, oh, they must be out partying.
No.
Not happening.
Definitely not.
So, with the, first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
on the win last night with Kid Galahad. Now on to big things.
On to big things, you know, looking for the winner of Warrington and Frampton now. You know, that's going on in December, so Barry can have a bit of a Christmas and get back in the gym. You know, he's never out of the gym anyway. And hopefully that fight's going to go on in the early part of 2019.
Are you guys going to be ringside for that?
Yeah, we'll get some, you know, I'll phone up my friend Frank Moore and see if we can get some tickets ringside and, you know, watch that one and work out what we're going to do.
So one of my frustrations last night was watching that referee.
Yeah, the ref was an American referee, and you know he was giving the other guy, the American guy, every chance he could. You know, but to a certain degree, it's the same in England when foreign fighters come over. You know, they're a bit biased. I don't think they realise what they're doing. But you know, he made it very vocal and very clear with Barry in the ring when he was pulling him up, and then more or less under his breath when he was telling the other guy. So, but we knew that was going to happen, and Barry knew the risk when he came here, and he just said, look, I'm at the point where if I'm good enough, I'll beat this kid no matter where he is.
Yeah.
It's no good being a world champion and fighting people in your own town every time. You've got to be able to travel the world and fight. And he goes, it'll be a good experience for me, and I'm going to put myself in the danger zone, and that's what he did. You know, putting a great performance.
Yeah, he did. But let's talk about what the potential could be. There's Carl Frampton and Josh Warrington. Who would you prefer of the two?
I don't know. I don't think, you know, I think Carl Frampton's at the stage of his career now where it's a big money fight for him against Warrington. I don't think he's going to have the desire. You know, Warrington's the champion, he's fresh, he's younger, and I think Frampton now, he's had the money, he's been in the big fights, he's been the world champion, he's had a good career. If he wins in this fight, I think in his mind he thinks, well, if I win, I win. If he does win, I don't think he'll fight Barry. It's a fight he doesn't need to have. So he probably.
But he'll be the mandatory. So what will happen?
If he wins the WBO, you know, whether it's it's going to be the IBF, but I think somewhere down the line the WBO might be rolled in.
Okay.
You know, Cole Frampton is a name where he doesn't need a world title. He just needs to be in good fights. He's a good name. He's a big draw, and you know he can go a different route. So if he wins the title, I think he wouldn't fight Barry, give it up. Whereas if Warrington, retains it, which I think he will fight Barry. It's a good local derby, Yorkshire. He's from Leeds. We're from Sheffield. He's beat Barry before in the amateurs. There's a bit in Ingle there, and yeah, it'll be a good fight. And I think people will watch the fight last night and think, oh, there's no danger of Galahad beating any of those two. But it's like anything else. It's a different proposition.
Yeah.
It's a different proposition when you come into a fight and you have to fight Barry there and then. You know, it takes a lot of working out, and Barry did what he had to do in that fight last night, and he completely shut out Tucker Khan, who was very tricky himself. And that's the thing, when you could get two tricky fighters fighting each other, it is a clash of styles. So it's very difficult. And he came out on top easily. I thought he won a lot wider than 118, 110. He came out without a mark on him, and he broke the other guy's heart. So yeah.
Well, Carl Frampton was obviously around, floating about during media week. Did you guys by chance have any sort of run-in?
No, I was talking to his trainer Jamie Moore. They were in the other hotel, and I came up talking to Jamie. I know Jamie quite well, and I talked to Carl Frampton. There's no animosity between me and them, and really there's no animosity between Barry, Warrington and Frampton. It's just healthy competition.
But it seems like there was a bit of time where they were kind of going at it on Twitter, though.
But it's like women bitching, isn't it? That's what it's like. It's like when they see each other. They're all pal-pally, but you've got to do that. It's all, they're all trying to get a bit of gamemanship and one-upmanship and everything else. They're all trying to pull a fast one on each other, but, Cole's had a great career, he's been a great fighter, and like I say, he's been in the big fights, and it takes a special kind of fighter, like the Floyd Mayweathers, to be able to maintain that for years and years and years. They've got something to prove, but that'd be a great scrap. I think Frampton thinks he's got the experience and the ability to beat Warrington, but you've got to, Warrington's enthusiastic, he's young, he's fit, and he's determined, so it's going to make for a great fight.
Why do you think it's taken Barry so long to get these opportunities, to get set up for something like this?
Well, he's not a massive ticket seller, he's not everybody's cup of tea, and promoters like favour certain fighters, and we've been offered deals with certain promoters, but it's never the one that you want, it's never enough money, it's on too long terms, because realistically, unless you're a massive ticket seller, you're going to be struggling to dictate terms. So Barry's been a bit of a free spirit. He's gone all over the place and fought on different bills. He's done a lot for Eddie. And, it's like anything else. We've got him to this point now. Obviously Eddie's backed him, and we're hoping to get a few more fights off Eddie. And, that's how it is. But that's how boxing is. It doesn't work good for everybody. It works good for the top few fighters, and it usually works better for the fighters. You can have an okay fighter who's quite good, who sells loads of tickets, and he'll get so far up the ladder, and they protect those type of fighters because it's all about money. And the good fighters, who probably aren't so popular or don't sell so many tickets, it's difficult. Look at example Rigondo, what a great fighter he was in his time, and TV networks were dropping him.
Yeah.
Because it's a purist type of style. It's not crash bang wallop and all guts and glory, and some people don't want to see that. But there were times in Mayweather's career, he put in them kind of performances. He just skirted through them. It was a boxing masterclass, and then he had the fights like the Canelos and the bloodbaths. So it's all down to the next performance, and I think when Barry's in this world title fight, I think that's where he's going to shine. It was a safety first approach last night. He did what he got to do. He came away from home, put himself in the danger zone, and up against it. And for me, he started 4 rounds down before he got in that ring, but he controlled the pace. He controlled the guy. Freddie Roach was in the other guy's corner, so there was no excuses. He trained for 8 to 10 weeks, did everything right, was under good, being guided very good. And when it came down to, in the end, it was Barry who pulled through and did it.
It seems like the Ingle gym has had a lot of ups and downs this year. It's nice to sort of end off on a high note with Barry. Let's circle back around with Kell Brook, because we know that the Amir Khan fight is
I'm just trying to think
looming.
where we've had ups and downs, but where's the downs? Can you tell me, what do you think's a down?
Well, the downs in the sense that there's been a lot of fights that didn't happen this year.
Yeah, but that's boxing.
Injuries.
That's boxing. It's that's not a down. That's just standard. It's not who goes through a year of boxing where everything goes right. It's not. It's
right. Well, a year of things where it maybe didn't go as planned. There we go.
No, you can't plan boxing. That's just the thing. So I never look at it as ups and downs. You either win or you lose, and that's how boxing is. So the setbacks maybe, but you just work through them. You don't stop. You just carry on, and that's where you get the success. If you fell at the first hurdle, you'd never have any success in life. So it's a standard thing to accept that fight's going to fall through. People are going to get injured. Kell Brook was supposed to fight in the summer. Billy fell 2 fights early on in the year, and then when he came to the third time of asking against Andrade, the fight didn't happen. So that that happens in boxing. But in the background, we've had Kid Galahad, we've had Liam Williams, we've had Nicola Adams, we've had all these other fighters. There's always somebody. Jason Quigley. There's always somebody moving on. There's always something to keep you busy.
Yeah.
The train keeps rolling on. It's just that not everybody's riding first class. There's some at the back of the train, and they're making their way to the front.
Right.
And it's back and forward. So I never look at it from that kind of point, negative point of up and down.
Thanks. I mean, it just made me look at it differently too. But let's talk about let's start with Kell Brook, because obviously there's a lot of rumors circulating. I don't know where it even came from. I don't know. I don't want to speak out of line here, but I mean, where did it come from? Do you even know? Are you just as confused as all of us?
I have no idea, but it's like anything else. I'm in America. Kell's doing his own thing. The thing is,
it's like what are you supposed to be there with him 24/7?
No. Like I say, he's a grown man. He's 32 years old, coming up for 33. We've had a great career. We've had some great fights together. We've been through some good times. And at the end of the day, I always say to the fighters, look, if you're not happy where you are, you're always free to make the choice to go somewhere else. It's like you can't just be together for the sake of it. You've got to be happy doing what you're doing. So I'll get back. We'll have a chat. Me and Kell, we always do. We get on well. It's not a problem. That's the great thing about the internet is rumours and false news, and everybody's like response to it is great. I love watching it because they make so many conclusions, and generally 99 times out of 10 they're wrong.
They're totally wrong.
Well, 99 times out of 100, not 10. They're wrong. So, well, actually 99 times out of 10 they're wrong, yeah. So, you know, it's not a concern. Like I say, at the end of the day, Kell's had a great career. He's got 1 or 2 fights left in him. But obviously want the Khan fight. You know, things move on. But at this moment in time, he's not actually phoned me up and said, you know, I've got a new trainer. I'm not too concerned, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what could be with Kell Brook at this point. We do look, or it does look like it's as close as it's ever been with negotiations. But there was the 10-pound rehydration clause that sort of came up. Khan's the one who spoke about it. Eddie Hearn even said he had no idea that there was some sort of 10-pound rehydration clause. There's no title on the line. No. What did you think of that?
Well, you know, it's just another way to tie Kell's hands behind his back into it. It's not. It wouldn't really matter whether it was, you know, £10 or not, because for that type of fight, Kell would motivate himself. You know, to get down to the weight even better. You know, he's already training now. He's supposed to be fighting in December, and you know, Kell is a focused kid when he gets moving. And if that's what he had to do to fight Khan, then he would do it. You know what I mean? If Khan said you can only put £10 on, when you step into that ring, you can only be £10 heavier. You know, what does that mean? Does that mean 5 minutes before he steps in the ring, he's got to get on the scales naked, make sure he's only £10, then put all his gear on, then jump in the ring? Or is it 2 hours before the fight, or is it 1 hour before the fight, or when is it? You know, usually with the IBF, you have to make the next day weigh in no more than £10 by, you know, 8 or 9 o'clock the following morning. This won't be an IBF title fight, so Khan's making up his own rules. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But somewhere down the line, I think it can probably be negotiated around to a reasonable amount of weight. But like I said, at the end of the day, Khan's talked all the way through his career, fantastic fights. He didn't look too good in his last fight, and it's just a matter of time before he comes unstuck. And I think the last person he wants to come unstuck against is Kell Brook, because he's bad-mouthed him for long enough. He's told a load of lies about him, you know, beating up in sparring as a kid, which he never did. You know what I mean? Khan, I think he starts to believe his own bullshit to make it, you know, to put the proper word in there. He likes to believe his own little stories. So, you know, if they get it together, there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that, you know, Kell will hit him on the chin. In that 36 minutes, he'll be done. There's no way that Khan can avoid. Look, after that last fight, there's no way that Khan can keep away from Kell. Even Kell, who's weight drained for 36 minutes or for a 12-round fight, no way. And Khan is one of them fights. I don't care what anybody says. You know, Barry boxed a guy last night who'd been stopped once. It was a bit of a flash knockdown, first or second round, and people say, no, he's chinny. He's not a chinny guy. It can happen in fights. But Khan is one of those. If you look at all his knockouts, when he gets hit clean on the chin by anybody, even Sam Vargas, who wasn't a big puncher, had him all over the place. And that's, you know, that's where you hit the jackpot. And that's why he's got a big red button on his chin saying, hit me. And if anybody can hit that, and Kell's an accurate puncher, you know what I mean, with either a jab or a backhand, you know, Kell hits that, he's hit the jackpot. So, you know, Khan knows that, and everybody around Khan knows it. But the thing is, the people around Khan, they're all wanting the hand in the pot for the money. So they want him to be in that fight. It's him who's going to get beat up and knocked out. And it's going to be him who's going to get the money. He's going to have to be handing it out to everybody else. So everybody wants him to make that fight. So
we all know that for a moment there, the initial person he wanted was Manny Pacquiao. Well, now we know that Manny Pacquiao is signed with Al Heyman. He's more than likely going on and fighting Adrian Broner. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Should the fight not happen next? And I've asked everybody this because you guys are the British public. How do you feel the British public is going to react to it? Because me personally, I can only imagine that it's like there's absolutely no reason at all. There shouldn't be another warm-up fight, because if you're willing to go on to fight Manny Pacquiao next, you should be well prepared to go on to fight Kell Brook next. So, in your opinion, how do you think the fans are going to react if the fight doesn't get made next?
Yeah, they're not going to be happy about it, but realistically, you know, Khan's not interested in giving the fans what they want. You know, he talks about giving the fans what they want. Kell Brook, when you look at his career, he's put himself on the line winning against Golovkin because he couldn't get the big fights that he wanted. Now, realistically, and he gave a good account of himself. If Kell Brook goes in against Golovkin, you understand, he's obviously got no qualms or any, you know, worries about winning with Khan. And if you know, just by that measure, Khan's, you know, has been talking his way out of fighting Kell forever and a day. You know, that's the way it is. So you've got two fighters there. Kell is prepared to fight absolutely anyone within reason of weight. He went up, you know, 2 divisions to fight Golovkin, the most feared boxer on the planet at the time. And you're looking at his last 2 performances, he's still fantastic. He put in a great performance against Canelo. But, you know, it was only the damage with Kell what, you know, got Golovkin the win. I could have seen that fight turning around and Kell coming through on that one. But, like I say, you know, Khan's his own man. At the end of the day, he don't care whether he's satisfying the British public, boxing public's demands for him to fight Kell. You know, he'll do his own thing. He's made his money. You know, they're not going to be pushed around by anybody. They're going to make their own decisions.
I hope that fight gets made.
We all hope it gets made. It's a big money fight for both of them. Generate a lot of income, and it's, you know, it is a fight that everybody wants to see. You know, we've had the Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, we've had the Mayweather Manny Pacquiao, we've had all the big fights. You know, Klitschko and Tyson Fury, Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. You know, it's all right, Khan talking it all up, but you know, Joshua's put himself in danger more times than Khan has. So, you know, we can only hope and pray that it happens next year sometime.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I know we've been talking about this for how many years now, but it
time.
does seem like it's slowly getting there now that they're both under the Matchroom banner. So let's cross our fingers.
Well, this actually fight between Kell and Khan's been talked about ever since they both turned professional. I can remember, you know, Kell's dad coming to me and saying, you know, we're signing with Frank Warren, Khan's with Frank Warren. You know, we'll get that fight, and you know, Kell's going to be on top. I went, that fight's never going to happen for 10 years. You know, they both need building up. We're talking, this is when Kell was 18 and 19 and they both turned pro. I said, it's never going to happen. I said, if Kell, they fought each other now after 5 or 6 fights, it wouldn't mean anything. That's a fight, what's going to happen way down the line. And here we are, you know, 14 years later. Yeah, 14 years later, waiting for that fight. So that's how long it's been going on.
I think my biggest concern is that it's going to end up turning into a fight that would have been great 2 years ago.
I think
do you know what I mean?
I think it'll still be good anyway. I think it'll still be good because, you know, Khan has got the movement. He's, you know, he can move around for a couple of rounds, but he'll just be a crash. You know, what would you rather see? You know, if Kell boxes Khan, that fight is not going to last more than 4 rounds, because Kell would just jump on him for 4 rounds and and that'd be it. There's no way would Khan be able to keep him off. It's impossible. So that'd be exciting. It'd be the best 4 rounds of his life for Kell Brook. So, you know, and I think Khan knows that. He's just thinking damage limitation at the end of the day.
Well, another person that I want to talk to you about is Billy Joe.
BG.
Yeah,
yes.
Billy Joe. I'm not going to lie, when I first read the headlines, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I know how anti-drugged he is. You know, he's always on about everyone, cheating this, cheating that.
Michelle, listen, at the end of the day, it's a load of rubbish. And, you know, the fight last night with Andrade and the other guy, good fight. He wouldn't have got away with all that stuff with Billy. And it's down to testing procedures. VADA represent a minute, you know, dot on the testing world anti-doping stage. You know, WADA's the governing body, what sets the standard for everybody. VADA is a little organisation that tests in America, because in America they don't have standard testing, they have USADA, and they decide to do it when they want to do it. The commission last night, Massachusetts, it was commission testing, it was a joke. You know, there's a lady there with a cup that you pee into, you go to the toilet on yourself, nobody's watching you, you bring the sample back. You could pour water in it for all intents and purposes. So they've had VADA set up in America so they can get more uniform testing, because Massachusetts Commission don't have drug testing after fights. So imagine that, you've got a world title fight. If you don't organise, you know, independent testing like Eddie had to last night, then there'll be no testing. So, which makes it very strange for the commission then who put refuse Billy Joe Saunders' licence on the, you know, thing of failing a drug test. You know, they're not even interested in drug testing. And like I say, Robert Smith made a statement straight after, the British Boxing Board of Control, who were affiliated to UK Anti-Doping, who's affiliated to World Anti-Doping Association, that there's no case to answer, there's no wrongdoing, it's not a problem. You know, in competition, Michelle, is the day of the fight. VADA have this policy that their in competition is from when you sign the testing for the camp. So you could be 10 weeks out. Do you understand? And that's classed as in competition, but it's not, because who are you competing with in a training camp? Nobody. You're competing on the day of the fight, and that's a rule what needs to be changed. So, you know, for me, it's a load of rubbish, and Billy Joe Saunders has, you know, been out of the way, got out of the way, or he's been moved out of the way, so an easier fight for Andrade can be made. He'll come back, you know, Billy knows what it's all about, he trains hard, he lives in Sheffield, he's living the life now, and like I say, he's not going to get a ban, and Frank Warren's going to put it on the Massachusetts Commission, I think, or Athletic Commission, and you know, for refusing his license, there's been a lot of money lost, but there's a couple of lessons to be learned from it.
So I'm curious, because I'm sure if I'm thinking these questions, I'm sure a lot of other people are. Explain to me the process now. So I'm hearing that they are trying to suggest he have just a 6-month ban, but
yeah,
how
but listen,
is that just in the States? Is it in
the WBO are a boxing organisation? Do you understand? And I'll put this to you again. If an American fighter comes to Britain, he will be tested by British doping, anti-doping, UK anti-doping. If he fails a test in Britain, he will be answering that case in Britain, as the heavyweight did, who boxed David Price, what they call him, beat David Price twice. He failed the test and never went back, you know, still allowed to box in Britain. So Billy Joe Saunders is in England, he's failed the VADA test, failed it on what their terms are. So why are they giving the results to the Massachusetts Commission? Because he's failed it in England, if he's failed it. So it's been made known to the British Border Control that Billy Joe Saunders has failed the border test. They've looked at what it is, they've matched it against their anti-doping rules and said, that's not an infringement, that's not a break of the rules, no, we haven't got a problem with it. And realistically, Massachusetts board should have said, fair enough then, we're going to go with what his own organisation have suggested. There's no case to answer. But they didn't do that. You understand? People get on the internet, the Victor Contes, you know, and they put pressure on them. Oh, he's failed the drug test, this is terrible. Victor Conte's saying this drug's 10 times worse than the one that Canelo, you know, used.
Yeah, I read
it's a load
that.
of rubbish, absolute tripe. So he's lying, and you know, he's got no credibility anyway. So, you know, the WBO could probably issue a ban, but only for their titles, because he can still box in England. You know, he can box anywhere he wants.
That's what I was curious about. So that means that he could still be out as early as December, January, really?
He'll be out whenever he's out. Whenever Frank gets him a fight, he'll be out.
Okay.
And they can't stop him. And Frank will put it on the WBO anyway and make sure that doesn't happen. They can issue a ban, but they can only issue a ban for him not to fight for their titles for 6 months. That's all they can do. And that doesn't stop Billy boxing anywhere else. You know, it's not, you know, they can't.
He's not going to have a 6-month inactivity.
No, of course not. But if he's in inactivity, it'll only because he's looking to get a fight.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's politics. It's not something I get involved in. I do the training. I leave that to the people who know, like Frank and, you know, the people who look after Billy, his legal team. But, you know, Billy sat down before he went back home and said, listen, it all happens for a reason. We've seen what Andrade got last night. He had the guy down 3 or 4 times. He even hit him on the floor. With you know, the shots were actually put him down were more or less glancing blows. The one that probably hurt the guy, when the guy hit the floor, Andrade hit him with something like a right hook. He should have been disqualified straight away. And I think he had the guy down 2 or 3 times and couldn't put him away. So what does that tell you? You know, he's not a massive puncher, and he started to run out of gas after 7 or 8 rounds. So Billy Joe Saunders would not be such an easy target. He's more mobile. He's got more of a ring craft than the other guy. You know, Walter just kept walking into him. Easy fights. And you know, for me, really, you know, Andrade is a good boxer. Don't get me wrong, but he looked a lot better than he were against the guy last night.
As we all know that inactivity is the most dangerous thing for any fighter, and now we're as of December, it will be a year since Billy Joe's been out of the ring. I know he's been training all year,
well,
but he's...
listen, I'm interrupting you. I keep interrupting you before you go on a bit too quick. That in the time when he boxed last year, William Monroe, he boxed David Lemieux. You know, up until something like June last year, he'd been inactive for 6 months. And from that time of boxing William Monroe, David Lemieux, from that time last year, from June, he has been in the gym consistently, constantly. Now, you could be fighting 3 times a year and having 8 weeks training camp and not getting yourself into great shape. A fight, you know, that's the icing on the cake. It's the training what keeps you ticking over, the lifestyle. You know, keeping on the, you know, before that he'd have 6 months out
keeping
and then
the weight down.
Keeping your weight down. So he's been in the system, and he's now in the, you know, in the Ingle way system where he's in the gym. He's living in Sheffield. You've been to Sheffield a few times to interview him. He's always there training. He's in a good place, and that's better. them fighting 2 or 3 times a year and then having massive blowouts in between. So he might not be fighting. The fights, he's just 12 rounds. He's had plenty of sparring. And the thing, the way Billy Joe Saunders spars, he never gets hit. He could spar every day open for training. If I let him do that, he'd do it because he just doesn't get hit.
I had a bit of frustration with that when I couldn't land once on him and I was just throwing away, looking like an idiot.
So, he's in a good place. He watched Barry last night, he sent Barry a message. And Billy knows now, he knows where he needs to be. He knows he can get himself in shape. He knows what the process is. And, what he wants is the fight to motivate him. And somewhere down the line, maybe this Andrade fight's going to come back, who knows. But he's an unbeaten fighter, Billy. He's an exciting fighter. A lot of people came to watch him last night. They were disappointed that he wasn't there.
Yeah. I had quite a few fans actually come up to me and say that they wish it was Bill that they was fighting that, obviously. Is there anyone in particular that you could think at the top of your head that could be a good matchup for him next?
No, I mean, listen, it's not something I get involved with. It's, that's a minefield at the end of the day. Like I say, I've got the easy, maybe I've got the easy job training him. But, I'll leave that to everybody else. I stick to doing the training. And I don't expect the promoters or the managers to get involved with what I'm doing. I don't get involved with what they're doing. They name the opponent. We train for that opponent.
Jason Quigley?
Yeah, good fight. 10 rounds. He's had a year out. He boxed a guy the other day who's been in with everybody. Tough. And when he was boxing, up to $1 million. But the fighting Irish took over at some rounds, and he started having a punch up with the guy. But it was a good test for him. He was a little bit ill before that fight. Got a sinus problem, but he came through it. And it was also always a bit touch and go with him, but he's got, he is a very good fighter. He's got the heart of a warrior, and he can stand and have a fight with anybody. But that's what we're trying to get him away from. We want him to box more. And like I say, in bursts in that fight, he looked fantastic. Having 2
middleweights in your camp, do you have them spar against each other?
No, I don't think they have. They might have done 1 or 2 rounds, but we don't, Kell's, they've all sparred each other, but they never spar each other for more than maybe 2 or 3 rounds, and then we put somebody else in. And it's always at different stages of fitness. Because you can imagine if they're both on point, it's going to be a war, and we just don't allow that because we can just bring other sparring partners in. For Kell's last fight and for Jason Quigley's last fight in March, they both sparred each other. Jason was his first open spar for quite a while. Kell was just coming up to fitness, so it balanced out. They didn't take advantage of each other. It was a good technical spar, and they learnt a lot from each other, and that's what we have. We don't have wars in our gym, and we don't have people trying to knock each other out. So at certain times you can do it, but most of the time we don't, because we don't want to create that atmosphere in the gym. Liam Williams has sparred, Jason Quigley sparred Kell, so he's in the gym as well. So they don't. There's no bad feeling, and we don't let it go on too much.
Nicola Adams, what's next?
Yeah, Nicola's had she won the interim title. She's back in the gym. She's back out in December. Just waiting for an opponent to be announced. But she's been in the gym since way before when she won a first gold medal, 2012. She came in, under the radar, sparred everybody. Barry, a guy we got called Anwar El-Fadli.
I found that so interesting because I had no idea. Call me completely naive, but I had no idea that a lot of the female fighters are sparring male fighters.
Yeah, but what we call we've got a flyweight called Anwar El-Fadli. He's an on the road fighter. He's had about 50 or 60 fights. He wins and loses, and she spars him, and she holds her own with him. When she spars Barry, it's more of a technical thing where Barry will just have his hands up and he'll be punching over her head, and she'll be trying to bang Barry out, and he'll just torment the life out of her. But it gives her the confidence and the learning all the time. So it's very technical stuff. So it's not full on, blood and guts. It doesn't work like that. So, but it's just a different method of training. She's the first female I've trained. But if you look at her last fight, some of the moves she picked up, what I was showing her, what Amir Khan was showing her, the other trainer, she took it all on board and put it into practice, and she practices things, and she's only going to get better. The last couple of fights, what I watched, it was just a bit of crash, bang, wallop, run into the opponent, bash him, and that's it. There was no finesse about it. But now she's getting back to her boxing.
I've been at the gym quite a few times, and I know that it's just full of testosterone.
Yeah.
Okay, the guys.
You can smell it when you're walking.
The guys are nuts, right?
Yeah.
How is she holding her own in that gym?
Well,
because I can be in there for maybe half a day, but.
Well, she when she first came in, she put a head guard on. I used to put little amateur kids in with her and say, "Go and spar with that kid over there," and we'd be having a spar with her. These kids would be 13 or 14, but her size, her weight. And you can't tell, when she's got an egg guard on, whether she's a male or female. And like then afterwards she take her head guard off, says, you know, girls beat you up. But she's one of the boys, Nicola, you know, she's one of the boys. She always takes it over the pinch of salt. She comes in, does the stuff, has a laugh and a joke and goes out, and that's it, forgets about it. So it's not an issue. You know, she's used to it. Yeah.
Well, Dom, appreciate you. I've been chasing you down for
a long time.
Of days
we're gonna play the outro. We're gonna play the outro now.
Okay, let's do the outro.
That's the outro. There you go. You didn't get it?
Yes, man. Like, proper.
Yeah.
Proper. So, yes.
Wayne, everyone.
All the way. Wayne. Yes, come on. All the way. All the way from
Leicester.
Dubai.
From sunny Leicester.
We're sunny Leicester. We're blue all the way. We're married.
Yeah. Where's your creed? Where's that good stuff?
I think Dominic's had it.
No, I ain't took it, mate. I took it. I think Michelle. Is it mine? That one, is it? Is it mine?
No, it's mine.
Well, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Wrapping up our last few hours here in Boston. Haven't had any time to actually sightsee. There it is.
Creed. Dominic, Creed.
Creed!
Man.
Love Creed.
You can't drink it.
Love Creed. Can't drink it. Can't play with it. It's magic.
All right.
Dominic.
All right, we'll wrap this up now. Bye, Fight fans.
Dominic.
Hey, Fight fans.
Hey Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye Fight fans.